Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to work on lesson 4.08. We're going to continue to add detail to our 1-point perspective room, and today we're adding the element of a bed. So let's jump right into it. So go ahead and exit out of here. One thing that let's go ahead and open this up first. So I'm going to go here to File Explorer here at the bottom, and I'm going to go to Documents, Digital Art Class, click on 1-point perspective room. And when I have my room file, I'm going to right click, open with Paint. All right. So here's my room where I left it the last time. And one thing I want to point out is when we look at this room right now, all of our elements are still flat. There is not a single three-dimensional object in this room. So your requirement for this project is to have three-dimensional objects. A bed is one option. You do not have to draw a bed in your composition, but because it was part of our inspiration piece by Van Gogh in the bedroom of Arles, I'm going to draw a bed. So I'm going to put a bed over here in the right-hand side of this composition. Again, the process is the same, so you can put it wherever you would like. And again, you don't have to draw a bed if you don't want to. All right, let's get started. So the first line that I'm going to do, I'm going to start up here with my Shapes tool. I'm going to click on a line. Actually, I'm going to click on a rectangle for the first one. And we're going to make a very simple bed. Now, you can make this more elaborate. You can do, bunk beds. You can do footboard, headboard, all of those things, but this is going to be a very simple bed. So I'm going to start over here. I want my bottom of the bed to sit on the floor. So I'm going to make sure that I'm a little bit away from that wall. I don't want a kiss. And I'm going to start by drawing the mattress. Oops, I have a way too wide of a line. So before I set that line, I'm going to change it to 1 pixel wide. All right, so that's going to be the bottom section of my bed. I'm pretty happy with that, so I'll set that line. All right, let me zoom in a little bit. I should be able to see the bottom of my bed and my vanishing point. All right, so now that I have that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the sides of my bed. This is drawing a box or a cube. So I'm going to start at my vanishing point. I'm going to draw down across to the top right-hand corner and click. I'll set that line. I'm going to draw from my vanishing point to the top left-hand corner of my face of my bed. There. I'll set that line. And then to the bottom. Right there. Okay. So now I have this. You have to kind of imagine and be able to visualize what that would look like without the floor and the wall and the baseboard inside the bed. I want to make sure that the bed sits on the floor. So I'm going to go back here along the bottom of the floor, the bed line, back to the back wall. I'm going to start on that diagonal line and I'm going to draw straight up. I am going to hold the shift button so it's a perfectly straight line. I'll stop that line where it intersects with the diagonal there. That line has to be perfectly straight because this line is perfectly straight. All I'm going to do from that point on is I'm going to draw this horizontal, perfectly straight horizontal line for the bottom of the bed. I'm going to continue that up here at the top. So at that intersection, I'm going to draw straight across. And where that line hits the diagonal on the right is where I'll stop. Okay, so I just drew a rectangular prism. That's the start of my bed. I'm going to go ahead and start there, and I'm going to zoom in. And I'm going to erase. I'm going to erase the lines beyond my rectangular prism for my bed, going back into space towards the vanishing point. This little extension piece here goes away. And this goes away. All this going back to the vanishing point. I no longer need this line in the baseboard, so it goes away. Control Z when you make a mistake. And there's a little triangular piece right here that is part of the bottom of the bed that I'm not going to use. I'm going to get rid of that. Okay, sorry about that. I'm going to go ahead and erase the inside part of the bed here as well. So this is not inside part, but this is inside the bed, and it's all of the stuff that's, if my bed was transparent, we would need. But because it's a solid bed, I no longer need the baseboard lines. I no longer need the floor lines inside. So I'm just going to continue to erase this. This will take me a minute. All right, I finished erasing, so I'm going to go ahead and zoom back out so we can see the whole thing. Ta-da, a rectangular prism. It is the start of our bed. So again, a very simple bed. You could add posts that were three-dimensional. You could add anything you want. For me, what I'm going to do to continue to keep this idea of pretty simple is I'm going to come into a rectangle and I'm going to put a headboard on here that looks something like this. That was really tall. I don't like that. And I'm just going to move it up so that it's in line there. And I think it needs to come over 1 pixel there. Okay. So that's going to be that headboard. Again, I could make that headboard three-dimensional. It wouldn't take much. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to start with my line. I'm going to go to the top corner here. I'm going to start at the vanishing point, and I'm going to go over to the right corner here. Now this has to be very shallow because I don't have a ton of room. I could have left that line right there because I don't have a ton of room on the floor for this to actually work. So that will be all that I need there. I need to make the side end so that it touches the floor. So I'm going to come down here where it is. This is going to be a kiss. I'm not crazy about that, but it will look cool. That's going to be the side of the bed headboard, and I'm going to come up where that intersects right here. I'm going to start there and draw over until it intersects over there. Very shallow there at the top, but that's an accurate example of what that would look like. So I'm going to take away my lines going back to my vanishing point, beyond my headboard, like this, and clean up right down here around my baseboard too. So inside the baseboard, I don't need the diagonal for the floor line. And inside my bed, I am going to use my pencil because it's tiny. I don't need this baseboard line anymore. And down here, I don't need this baseboard line anymore. Okay, so you can kind of see, I think I want to put that line back in there. Just makes it, since the bed is very square, it makes it look a little square, more square. Okay, so there is a very basic headboard. You could do the same idea with the footboard. Remember, it is best to work from the foreground to the background. So if you were going to do a footboard in this situation, I would do that first and then work your way back through the rest of the composition, because you won't be drawing through what you've already designed. All right, I hope that was helpful in designing a bed. If you have any continued questions. Oh, one other thing. I'm going to zoom in a second. It does look very straight, and we know like your bed might be a little more curvy and things. So let's put on here, I'm going to put a curvy line that continues all the way around. This would be like my comforter that comes down over the edge. I also might have some kind of lumpy pillows on my bed. That's an odd shaped pillow, but it will work. I will go back in and erase inside the pillows so that you are not seeing the line of the bed. And that's just going to soften things up a little bit in your composition and add a little bit of fun to some of the technical that we have been doing for the drawing. So all I did is I used my pencil tool to just add a few items there to the composition. All right, now I'm happy with my bed. I'm going to hit that save button in the top left-hand corner. And then our last step always is we're going to go to that snip and sketch tool and get a screenshot of our daily progress. So here's our snip and sketch. I'll click on new. In the top left-hand corner, I'm going to click draw down across the composition, release my mouse. There is my snip. I'm going to hit the save button, and I'm going to put this into my screenshot folder. So I'm in my Documents, Digital Art, Screenshots. This is lesson 4.08, screenshot. And I'm going to hit save. All right, at that point I can hit the copy button on there. Make sure that I have that to copy into my sketchbook. If you have any questions about drawing your bed or taking your screenshot of your daily progress for your sketchbook, please reach out and let me know. Otherwise, enjoy the process.